Three, two, one, go. All right, this is the episode 1 of the Iron Cowboy CrossFit podcast. I'm Cooper. I'm the owner of the gym. Sitting here with a member of our gym, Dalton. He's going to be kind of helping guide the podcast and help it go along to where we have some questions to talk about. So first podcast ever. Give us a break where you can. Oh, got the dog scratching on the windows there. It's nice.
It's good.
How's it going, Dalton?
Great.
Oh, thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Excited to be over. Should be fun.
Yeah. This podcast is mainly going to be steered for members, new members, people that are considering CrossFit, maybe some people that have been doing CrossFit and need to still just continue to learn and, improve their education on anything from nutrition to why we program the way we do, what CrossFit is, any of that stuff. So I guess if you want to go and kick it off, we'll just kind of jump right into it, maybe with some questions.
Yeah. So I guess just start, how did you exactly get into CrossFit? Obviously, you own the gym and everything. You just start kind of from the beginning, and so everybody kind of knows the background.
So mainly, my background with fitness, derives from athletics. It's coming from, high school sports, lifting in the weight room there, and then going to play college football, starting in Montana, and then going into Colorado. We had, to lift for football there. And that's probably where I really found my passion for what training can do for you as far as mentally and physically. And seeing those improvements in the weight room just really lit a fire under me. And I started going to school for nursing, and then my mind was like, this is how I can help people. But then I thought, this is a form of tertiary care. I can't help people once they're already so sick. And I wasn't necessarily set on if I was passionate about that. So I thought, how can I really help people? And what's the, immediate impact of improving someone's life? And it was to help them get in better shape to where they didn't end up in the hospital, under a nurse's care. So that kind of got me in the gym stuff. And I started, my first job was a front desk position at a, kind of a privately owned Globo gym in Montana. And then started going from there. And then that's kind of right in my last stint in Helena, Montana is where I started CrossFit. Did my first workout and was sold on my fitness not being what it needed to be, and started looking into it more. And within a month and a half, I was taking my level 1 in Park City.
Nice.
So, I thought I was a pretty fit guy, playing college football, lifting weights a lot. And then my exposure to CrossFit was pretty eye-opening, just like most people's is. You get in there and you're like completely humbled by the stuff you cannot do. And I was definitely that person. I couldn't even overhead squat a 45-pound bar. I tell my members that all the time, that they struggle with something like that, like an overhead squat or a snatch or anything, especially like mobility focused, where if you're not flexible, you have a hard time. It was like I was in the same exact boat, and my first workout left me not walking for like 3 days.
Yep, been there.
So that's kind of how I got started in CrossFit, and then I just took it from there. I was super fortunate, and kind of just keep going in the story. When I took my level 1, I was actually in the process of transferring schools because Carroll College in Montana did not have an exercise science program, and that's what I switched my major to. So I transferred to Colorado Mesa in Grand Junction, and for some reason had some confidence and that I was going to be able to just step into a gym and start training. And I knocked on every CrossFit gym door in Grand Junction, which there was, a pretty good handful there, 4 or 5 gyms. And every single one of them told me no, except for one, which is CrossFit Junction. And they said, yeah, sure, you can come shadow classes for 3 months, and then you can start coaching some classes and see how you do. From there, I got lucky, and they gave me an opportunity, and, they were super helpful as far as being patient with me as an instructor and knowing I was just learning this and also balancing school schedules and all this stuff with sports. So, yeah, went from there, coached there for a few years, and then December 2015, December 2015 is when we opened the gym here in Rock Springs. So
So level one, um, obviously, if you're a member at the gym, you see the wall of your certifications. But if you just want to kind of go through the ones you have,
Um,
obviously your degree, but in level one.
yeah, so I finished school with a bachelor's in kinesiology, which is probably my biggest accomplishment as far as certifications go. Um, but prior to finishing that, I did my level one to start coaching. It's a basic certification you have to do CrossFit. Anyone can go sign up and try to take those. There's a test, but it's mainly hands-on. You do breakout sessions and lecture, breakout section, then back to lecture, back and forth for 2 days. Um, but I was, and I thought, okay, that was great. And I had taken a personal training certification online prior to that when I was like a sophomore in college. And I didn't learn crap. I could have just taken the whole test at the end, without even reading the book. It just was kind of a joke. And I thought, man, I don't feel like I'm going to do anything but teach the people what I've learned in college football, which in my mind, not everyone needed that. So I was like, but then I took the CrossFit level one. I was like, man, these guys know what they're talking about. I mean, they actually taught me this is how you teach someone to squat, or this is, why we do this methodology of making someone live a longer, healthier life rather than, just throwing in a weight room, and why, a football program is probably not what everyone needs. But it was super eye-opening in that aspect as far as programming and actually hands-on helping people, which is, what the greatest trainers in the world are good at. A lot of people can write a program, but very few people can help someone apply it. That's maybe not a good mover. So probably got off subject there on the question a little bit, but the level one, so I did that, the exercise science or kinesiology from Colorado Mesa, and I did my NSCA certified strength and conditioning specialist at the end of my college career right there. That's a big certification I'm happy to have, mainly because it just carries a lot of weight in the college strength and conditioning world. If you're a collegiate college coach and you teach strength and conditioning, that's what you have to have. And then as far as other CrossFit certs, which is the only other ones I've done the level two, CrossFit weightlifting and CrossFit powerlifting and um, aerobic capacity is what's called now, but basically the endurance cert. Just those ones to continue. I keep one of the biggest things I've always told myself I was going to pride myself on, and what my coaches would do is continue their education, just because I think this field is always evolving so much. The second you stop learning or trying to advance yourself, you're going to fall behind, just because something else is changing. Programs are better. Maybe there's a better technique of doing something. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, but there might be a little bit better way, or just like anything, if you quit learning in life, you're going to fall behind where you should be. So always just try to keep going with that. So yeah, got a pretty decent wall hanging up there of certs with the other coaches. So.
For sure. So now I guess we kind of went over the basic, but like, say I'm a RN on the edge, wanting to become a member, just kind of don't know, like, kind of know what CrossFit is, just kind of nervous. Like, how would you explain it to kind of sway me, like, why CrossFit, basically?
It's a good question. I think, what the problem we run into is everyone's perception of CrossFit is so different. I mean, you can talk to 50 different people, and maybe 5 of them would describe CrossFit the same way. If you talk to someone who's gone and taken their level one, they're going to probably give you the description of what they've been taught as, like, at the level one. You talk to someone who saw the CrossFit Games on TV, they're going to be like, think it's some intense, crazy thing that they are not capable of doing, because you have these amazing athletes getting televised of doing really insane workouts, or, moving impressive heavy weights. And then you have someone that maybe went to a gym and had a bad experience. I mean, so it's kind of all over the board of what you're going to hear. But, I mean, you can kind of just basically start with, I'm going to tell people what I think it is. And I think CrossFit is the best program right now to build overall health and wellness. I think people get caught in the one thing or one thing they hear or see. And, I always tell my buddies the other day, if I had $1 for every time someone hated CrossFit and then actually gave it an honest chance, and I'm talking like, more than one class, at least with us. And then their mind was changed. I wouldn't be a millionaire, but I'd probably have like $100 in my pocket. So nothing crazy, but a lot more people than not are usually change their perception after they just go to a legitimate gym, and that's kind of the problem with some CrossFit gyms is they're not all ran the same. But that's kind of the appealing part of having a gym through CrossFit too, is they don't control every move I'm making. But I would tell someone that they just need to try it and not be scared. That if you're going to a gym that's professional and running a class how it should be ran, you're going to be taken care of. You're going to be safe. The coaches are going to help you every single step of the way, and you're not going to be in any harm at all. Really, it just comes down to the coaches and being trained and being professional. So
definitely noticed that at the gym. There's never been like a time where I haven't felt like I've been being watched.
Yeah,
doing something unsafe, you get called out, get corrected. So I guess like one of the biggest complaints or one of the biggest things you hear about CrossFit is injuries. Everybody's worried about getting injured. I think it's just from bad reviews, stuff they're reading online. But I guess what would you, like if somebody was worried about getting injured, what would you?
Yeah.
How do you
so
feel about that?
Trying to stay on the question. Sorry to get rambling. So injuries are an interesting thing. You know what I mean? Because people have. This is with anything you do, but if you do something, you hurt yourself. You want to find something to blame, and I think often CrossFit that happens. Which I'm not going to say it's bad coaching or whatever you want to say it is, but it could be a bad experience. Maybe a gym that's not paying attention to the members as they should, or maybe it's a pre-existing condition. Something that the member or the coach is not aware about that happens. And maybe it's really not, it depends how you define an injury. If it's a sore wrist, to me, that's not really an injury. If it's a broken back, okay, yeah, you've hurt somebody. I haven't had that happen, but you have nicks and nannies, like little things, bumps and bruises in all things you do, especially if you're active. And I think you can walk down the street and see someone that's living an active lifestyle, going outdoors, hunting, riding their motorcycle, doing anything that's like takes their heart rate getting a little bit higher and not be in danger of getting hurt in some shape or form, and then you have people that don't do that and they step off their stairs the wrong way and slip and break a hip, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'd say if injuries are deterring you from trying CrossFit, you just really need to open your mind to seeing what could happen, because the other side of that coin, right, is I've had members and myself completely transform an injury to like being stronger. So, you have someone who maybe has hurt their knee in, let's say, high school sports. They come in, right? They still think they have a wonky knee. They put it on their, on our waiver as I had an old knee injury, tore my ACL, blah, blah, blah. And then when it comes down to them working out and stuff, and if they stick to the program and listen to coaches and modify correctly and follow kind of the procedures of, what would be safe and not let their ego get the best of them, their knee's going to get stronger and probably feel a lot better. I've had a knee injury. This is way prior to CrossFit, but just training before and training after made my injury not as bad when it happened, and then also helped me recover faster. And I kind of have the same experience with my back. I hurt my back doing backflips, so it had nothing to do with CrossFit. Trying backflips, and so the processes off my L5 vertebrae are broke on both sides. It's called a bilateral pars defect. And basically what just happens is it starts to make those vertebrae start to slip. I'm basically at more risk of disc herniation or something like that. But I've had a couple times where I've been in some pretty significant pain in my lower back, and I just completely reshaped my thinking to, I need to do what I can and not be bummed out by what I can't do. yeah, I might not be, I might have to modify this, or, start doing this more, work on my flexibility, my mobility to make myself, more limber to where I can get in the positions better. Um, but I haven't had low back pain in a long time. But it's mainly because I really focus on the muscles around it to make it stronger to where it's, as resilient as I can possibly be. So I think, injuries can be improved, but I think if you're in the wrong gym, yeah, you're not going to get taken care of. You need to go to a coach who knows what they're doing. You need to take the steps necessary to be healthy. Listen to the coach, be modifying when they ask, and then, do your mobility, stuff like that. If you're out not taking care of yourself, then yeah, your injuries are gonna get worse, and you're not gonna get better.
For sure. Along the lines of also new members, kind of staying on track of new members coming into the gym. What kind of results could I expect coming to the gym? And then also, what do you expect out of members of the gym?
Okay. So part one, I mean, most people join the gym, they want to lose weight. That's the number one thing we're going to see. And I guess, what I can advise and tell people is that if you stick to the program, you're going to see results, period. It works, and that's why it's so popular. If this was just, a gimmick, you wouldn't see people and CrossFit gyms open up all over the world. Like, it's the fastest growing fitness industry right now is CrossFit. But it's because it works. So you can expect to see results, but not if you're not going to put in the work. It's hard work. But that's kind of where you get the results is through the intensity, But outside of that, I mean, it's a big puzzle to try to match up. I mean, if you're not working on nutrition, there's also the intensity in the gym, the nutrition outside of the gym, sleep, hydration. There's a lot of moving pieces, but if you just pick one at a time, you're going to improve somewhere. So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. So we just had to take a break to move our stuff because the wife decided to have a barbecue in the middle of the podcast. So that's good. So yeah, the last question I think Dalton asked me was, what do we expect from members? The biggest thing is we just expect commitment, and I think that's definitely reflective across most CrossFit gyms is we want you there, and we want you to commit to the process. As far as we don't need you to try to be CrossFit Games athletes, we just need you guys to stick to it. As far as make a little bit better of a choice. If you start drinking less pop, more water, you're stepping in the right direction. If you start going 3 days a week instead of 2 days a week, that's the right, you're in the right direction. As far as, just trying to make small changes. It's a lifestyle. It's a long, slow race, not a sprint. So I think that's that kind of relates back to the results is the people that want the quick fix and that, that really fast satisfaction of results. They're the ones that typically have a hard time sticking around just because it's not that way, unless you're doing other, extracurricular activities, I'll say, as far as maybe putting on muscle or losing weight, there's all sorts of different things people are trying to sell you on now. But it's just a lifestyle, and it's just meant to live longer and healthier lives, and that's the biggest thing I think you have to step back and remember. It should be fun, and if it's fun and you're working out with good people and you're working out hard, you're going to get results. That's what it comes down to there. So. But yeah, I think listening to your coaches and sticking to the process, that's all we really want, And the other things that probably don't even need to be said, as far as be respectful, be nice to other members, have fun. The community part of it is just as big of a piece as anything to making you have success in your health. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I guess the next question would be programming. How do you go about programming your workouts? What do you take into consideration?
Yeah. So we'll probably do a whole nother podcast on this one, just because this is kind of a very deep rabbit hole.
So I guess, like,
but yeah, I can.
what can they expect? Like, what kind of workouts?
Yeah. So as far as CrossFit gyms, most people should expect constantly varied functional movements, getting programmed, um, in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Different modalities as far as, and I mean that by like, we're gonna run, we're gonna lift, we're gonna do dumbbells, we're gonna do barbells, we're gonna do gymnastics movements from, you know, anything on the pull-up rack to handstand stuff to just all across the board. Just think cross training, just think mixing it up. The routine is basically the enemy. Um, but yeah, if you just go off CrossFit's programming, it's general physical preparedness programming, right? GPP programming to set you up to be successful across broad activities to where you're not specializing in one thing. And I think that's what, some members of ours even, question like, why in the heck are we doing this? It doesn't seem like there's any reason to what we're doing right now. It's like, well, if you just remember this is supposed to make you healthy, live longer, and, have broad inclusive fitness, GPP programming is the way to go. But anymore, there's so many things out there about people getting on, little things of going to a specific program for weightlifting or gymnastics or whatever, and that's all great. It's going to help you get better. But everyday clients across the board are getting GPP programming, which is going to, be different every single day. It could be a short workout. It could be a long workout. It could be a partner workout. You just mix it up as many ways as you can. And obviously take into consideration what you're doing. If the coach and the programmer is smart and has a plan, it's not random. There's a plan, and I think that's what people think is like you can't just throw anything together. But at the same time, it's a fine line you kind of dance across as far as mixing it up, but also making sense of it as far as keeping people recovered and stuff like that. Because Greg Glassman, his programming originally was meant to be 3 on 1 off, as far as 3 days on 1 day rest, and the 5-day business plan of most CrossFit gyms. That doesn't make any logistical sense in a business, so you have to kind of take into consideration that too when it comes to programming. But that's kind of a broad answer for you.
Yeah, don't want to get too in depth. Don't want to ruin the podcast. So, like gymnastics, that kind of stuff could be pretty intimidating, like seeing that kind of stuff, like as a new member. So obviously scaling is an option. So I don't want to take too much away from the other one, but like, I can't do pull-ups, like push-ups are tough, like, but that's in the workout. How do I mean, is there ways around that?
Yeah. So, especially I'm going to speak for our gym. The coaches are going to set you up for success in the best way possible. 1, to keep you safe, and then 2, to help you start to progress towards those things. Obviously, there's a ton of movements in CrossFit, gymnastics, weightlifting, etc., that are definitely can be intimidating because they are so challenging. But in the same breath of that, that's also what makes it so great, and what helps produce the results is the challenge. If it were easy, it wouldn't be that fun, and it probably wouldn't be worth it. But we're going to help you scale. Yeah. So if you can't do pull-ups, we're going to have, there's 5 different modifications that the coach is going to have in their bag of tricks to help you get better and stronger towards a pull-up safer. And stuff like push-ups, doing push-ups off your knees, or wall push-ups. I mean, I can make the same workout for a 25 healthy young male who's, a good athlete who doesn't need help with all movements. I can make the same workout scalable to a 65-year-old female who, maybe has had some health problems, might be overweight. We can have them in the same class doing a similar workout. Yeah, obviously they're not the exact same thing, but they're going to be getting stronger. They're going to get healthier, and they can do that together in a class. And that's what makes CrossFit so great. And I think people forget about that. They see the intensity, they see the CrossFit Games, they see all these athletes on social media, and they think, I can't do this. It's too hard. And it's like, well, you got to remember what it was made for. It was made for a fitness program, not a sport originally. So, yeah, don't be afraid. The coaches are going to help you get stronger and do that safely. So,
I guess kind of trying to wrap it up, I guess. Membership costs. What kind of memberships do you run? What are those running? Like, what am I looking at for those?
Yeah. So, price is a big portion of CrossFit. You hear across the board, that's kind of a good complaint you could hear from people is, wow, it's a CrossFit gym so expensive. Um, I guess this is what you think you're getting out of it. So first off, I think before I tell you what our prices are, gyms kind of has to be relevant to your area to an extent, but a CrossFit gym should charge a premium price compared to a regular gym, right? You go to a regular gym, yeah, you might have nice equipment and some amenities, but what you're getting in a CrossFit membership, if you can't see the value, then you should hopefully check out. I would encourage you to check out another CrossFit gym because you should go in there. You should feel like you got coached, that you were instructed, that you had fun, that you're seeing results. But it's basically, people say, oh, it's like you have your own personal trainer. Well, it is like that if the coach is, doing his job and doing it well, and the classes are manageable sizes. If you got 40 people in a class, yeah, it's not realistic that you're going to get much coaching in an hour, but 15 or less, that's a pretty good class size, and you should be able to get some help. But it's a lot more of a small group personal training is what you can think of it as, and that price comes with coaching experience, and all that stuff. I mean, I've been to a couple other gyms. I did my internship at another gym in Denver, and the prices there are drastically different from what ours are. So just to give you some numbers, I mean, most gyms you can bet that CrossFit gym is going to be $100 a month or more. That's kind of the standard. It seems to be it's $100 or more. We are right now. I mean, we have different memberships we have unlimited 3, 6, and 12-month contracts. So depending on the length of the contract, the price goes up. If it's a shorter contract, if you make a larger commitment to us, then the price goes down. But we have a 3 times a week membership. We're going to start doing some punch card stuff. We're trying to give people options to limit their excuses, because usually that's what we run into is like, well, I just can't go 5 days a week. Well, here's 3 days a week. Well, I can't go 3 days a week. I'm traveling 2 weeks. Well, here's a punch card. Because one day is better than no days. But just compared to the area, that's competitive in the CrossFit gym market for where we're at. But you go to like whereas in Denver, a single person unlimited membership was $250, and that's literally almost double what we charge. So it depends where you're at. It depends on the market. Obviously Denver has a lot more people to choose from, a lot more coaching, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a premium price. I'm not saying it's cheap. But if you think about some of the stuff you do spend money on from day to day, $5 coffees, $3 this, $6 that, $20 at Cafe Rio, it all adds up. And all that takes is a few less of those choices to cover the cost of the membership. So, yeah.
Me going to the gym personally, I've never felt leaving that I didn't get my money's worth being there. Small class sizes definitely help. Always getting coached. Feel like you're doing something right. They step in, let you know some other things they've noticed. But
yeah, I think, this kind of is a little bit off pricing, and it might not make you worth more money, but I still have yet, even by myself, the only place I've ever matched the intensity that I have in a CrossFit workout in a CrossFit gym has been in a college football weight room, and that was in Montana. That was not at Colorado Mesa. I think that the whole team thing and how you push each other, even if someone's not that close to you, you just kind of push yourself harder. Like, it takes a very special person, I'll say like in a good way, to go to like a Globo gym type facility and hit that workout or any workout with the same intensity that they're going to hit at a CrossFit gym. And that intensity is direct, directly why CrossFit's so successful, as far as getting people results and changing lives. So
it's a weird competitive nature. Like, we could be working out together, and like my only goal is to beat the guy next to me. I beat him, he beats me, and then as soon as it's over, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and that's that, not rant on too long. People end up pushing themselves. They push the person next to them. But the greatest thing about CrossFit, like you said, is all we care about is people working hard and then doing it to their best ability. We don't want to see you cheat reps. We don't want to see you cheat the workout. We don't want to see you. We don't want to see you fail. We want to see you succeed as coaches and everyone else in the gym. And I think people that are maybe overweight or really scared to come try the gym, they go, oh, I need to be in shape before I go there. And that's the absolutely last thing that we think and expect. It's not easy, and it's not easy for anybody that comes in the doors. And everyone there, every single member, every single coach, all we want from you is to work your absolute hardest, because that's all that matters. Like, if you do your best and try your hardest, no one there is judging you. It's a special place, the CrossFit affiliate, and I wish more people would give it a shot. So yeah, if you want to come try it, if you have any more questions, feel free to post stuff in the comments. We'll be posting this, in a couple different places, but yeah, feel free to write us. We'll be doing another podcast here in a couple weeks. We'd love to hear more ideas on what you guys want to hear talked about, questions specifically about CrossFit, whatever you have, throw it our way. Good and bad reviews. Try to be nice. This was our first one, so hopefully there's not too much background noise between cars and dogs and all sorts of different stuff. But yeah, this is episode 1 of the Iron Cowboy CrossFit podcast. Thanks for listening.